What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Tricky Jim. Gonna be playing a game on PTCGO today. Finally starting to feel a little better from the food poisoning, so thank you to everybody for the well wishes. Been a rough weekend, but hey, we're starting off this summer strong here. Still doing some testing for the North American International Championships. Obviously, Malamar and Buzzwole seem like very good options. Greninja, the traditional Greninja build, also seems like a valid option as well, but I really like to play Greninja GX. So we're going to roll another game with Greninja GX here because it's one of my favorite decks to play, though the deck does have a really hard time with Parallel City. I'm finding that Parallel City is a big deal in this current metagame here, especially since it does so well against both Zoroark and Malamar decks. So it does really good against both of them, and it doesn't really have that big of an effect on Buzzwole decks. So Buzzwole doesn't really care. Buzzwole also doesn't really play Parallel City. Buzzwole plays its own Brooklet Hill and generally can kind of just outrun everything on its own and doesn't need to play Parallel City to slow down other decks. Back in December at the Memphis Regional Championships, this wasn't necessarily the case. Buzzwole had a hard time dealing with some of its counters, so I ran my own copy of Parallel City and Buzzwole in order to slow down some of those Zoroark decks, and had nearly perfect matchups against my Zoroark, against Zoroark players with that. All right, so let's take a look at what we got here. We started our Lele in hand, so we're going to be able to go get a supporter. I think I'm going to Brooklet Hill for a Froakie. I am probably playing against what appears to be a Golisopod deck here, so that's fine. I kind of want to slap a Water Energy down on the Froakie just to have it. Golisopod, not great for us, considering that our Greninjas are weak to, yes, grass. Not good. But that's fine. I think that we should be able to overcome this a-okay. Let's Lele here. And then I think I am going to just grab my one of Sycamore, probably. I do have one Aqua Patch in deck, so I could just, no, if I'm going to Sycamore, we're fine. I have two Rescue Stretchers in deck. We'll be okay. Let's just hope that my opponent does not play any sort of Parallel City. I don't know how much the Golisopod decks really play it. Usually they play like at least one. And then we can Ultra Ball away both these, get myself another Froakie, slam that down. I still have 3 Frogadier in deck and 2 Greninja Breaks, so that's good. Slap that water down. I think ideally we're going to want to shuffle these guys back into the deck. Not going to want to really keep them out in play too much. Sure. And we got another Froakie. We've got ourselves a DCE for the active next turn, and we are all set up. So this deck runs great when you don't really have to deal with Parallel City. But if your opponent is playing Parallel City, it's really, really difficult to continue to keep your strategy rolling. Now, I've considered trying to get this deck to work maybe without Octillery. I think if you're not leaning on Octillery, 1 active and 3 benched Greninjas is plenty of space to work with if you don't need Octillery. The only difficult part about this deck is getting that Octillery to stay online when you are getting Parallel City'd. So you can see my opponent actually does just has 1 Wimpod out. So this actually should be pretty easy for me to take down. If I just literally Ultra Ball here I'm going to Ultra Ball away the Froakie and the water. And then if I go get myself a Frogadier, I can snipe that Wimpod once. So let's do that. We're going to, here. And then, I should have done this. I did this the wrong way. Yep. All right, let's just go here. We're not going to try and scoop that up yet. I think I'll just Cynthia. Because the idea was I'd evolve 1, scoop up. Oh, my goodness. I messed that up. That's fine. All right, let's just Cynthia. Let's not try to scoop it up. And I could just go for it and get it, which would be good. I mean, then I could probably live without then I'm like a water attachment behind, and I really don't like that. So we're just saying we're going to hit a Frogadier off here, and we did. So we're totally fine. We didn't have to pay for that little bit of a misstep there. I can just Timer Ball first, or I could Ultra Ball away the water and the Timer Ball. I think I'm going to Timer Ball first. Hope I just like really get lucky here. Oh, we did not get lucky. Okay, so we can Octillery first. Yeah, I think I like that. Let's Abyssal Hand first for 1. See if we get one other. Oh, Rescue Stretcher. That works. Okay. So we'll just Rescue Stretcher the Greninja back, the Frogadier back. Yep, let's go get that. We're going to get him, and then we are going to snipe that Wimpod again and knock it out because we do not want my opponent getting any sort of Golisopod into play. That would be bad. I could Ultra Ball away like the water in the Cynthia for a third Frogadier. That seems like it's doing too much. I don't really want to do that. I want to save this energy here. Energy is kind of precious in this deck, so we are going to go ahead and knock out that Wimpod, though. That's good. Now, if my opponent decides they want to put another Wimpod into play, it is easy for me to take out. And sure enough, they went ahead and scooped. They weren't really liking what I was putting down there, so they just gave up. You can see, oh my gosh, Greninja is so cool when it actually works, but unfortunately, like I'm saying, there's just a lot of Parallel City out there to be wary of. Garbodor decks are also not good for your boy Greninja. Greninja does not like those Garbodor decks at all. So I'd say that Greninja, very matchup dependent deck, and I'm not even sure how well Greninja does against these new Buzzrock variants that are playing high counts of the little Buzzwole, not the Buzzwole GX, the non-EX, non-GX Buzzwole. I'm not exactly sure how Greninja does against that, so I wish I could get paired up against a deck like that. I could see how this would actually work against it. Maybe this is a Buzzrock deck here. Looks like it's fighting, so we'll see how we do against a Buzzrock variant. That would be interesting for me because I want to at least know, does Greninja do well against them? The only, the only Malamar deck that ended up finishing the top 8 of whatever regional championship. What regional championship was it, Natalie? Which one?
Which one of what?
Where are we just at?
Oh, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, yes. So Zach Taylor's, thanks Natalie, Zach Taylor's Malamar deck actually did not play Parallel City. So even though Parallel City has been popular in some Malamar decks, in fact, I just saw a Malamar deck online today that was playing 3 Parallel City,
A lot of people are cutting them.
which I love. I love a lot of Parallel City. You actually don't need it in Malamar, and a lot of people are cutting them. You've seen that I've cut Parallel City from my own Malamar list because I think players are finding that the consistency is just an issue in their Malamar deck, so you can't really afford the luxury of running 2 or 3 Parallel City when you just need the deck to work. So that is a problem. If Parallel City starts to fall off, then Greninja could surely become a valid play. I think Parallel City is literally the only thing that I'm worried about with this deck. But that's the cool thing about a Greninja deck, is that it's not like Tier 1. People aren't going to tech just to beat your Greninja deck. People are going to tech to try and beat Buzzwole decks. So we're starting off pretty cool here. First of all, thanks for the Brooklet Hill, sir. I really appreciate that. That's good. And then I could throw down a second Remoraid, but I don't really think that I want that. I think ideally I hit a DCE, but honestly, I'm not really feeling super confident that I'm going to hit a DCE off of this. So, but if I attach the water to this Froakie, then my opponent's probably just going to use Lycanroc, bring me up, and then knock me out next turn. So let's see here. I can probably afford a second Remoraid. I know my opponent does not play any sort of... Yeah, I can afford to put that down. My opponent does not play any sort of Parallel Cities, more than likely, so that should be fine. And then, sure, I think I'm just going to go for the DCE here. Let's just go for it, see what we get. And no, we did not. That's okay. I think I will put down, let's see, we could put down the second Latios. I don't really mind that terribly much, because that way if my Latios does get knocked out in the active, I can put up the second one. That's fine. And then I'm more or less cool here. I kind of like that. Yep, so let's just pass to my opponent. Obviously, would like to have more Froakies in play, but things are looking pretty good here. You can see from my original list, I have swapped out more. I took out one of the Tapu Kokos for one more copy of Latios. I think Latios is very good right now, considering how good Psychic decks are, or Psychic is just as a type, against fighting decks and against Malamar decks. My opponent goes for the strong Sycamore there. They also get out of Buzzwole GX. many of the Buzzrock decks will wait to get Buzzwole GX into play until they are ready to Beast Ring to it. Maybe my opponent is playing a Buzzrock deck that only plays maybe one of the baby Buzzwoles and is playing a higher count of Buzzwole GX, maybe a more traditional build. Looks like, oh, yep, the Latios is going down. So, yep, don't really mind that I put the second Latios down. Totally cool with that. I think ideally if I got my Mewtwo out, it would one-shot this Buzzwole here, which is looking like it's going to be a little bit of a thorn in my side. Yeah, this thing is looking a little annoying, but that's okay. I'm just going to go get myself another Froakie, and then I think I will, let's go here and then snipe, yeah. Let's snipe I think I want to take out that Rockruff if I can. And then let's try to scoop up, see if I can lay it back down. I can't. I have a Rescue Stretcher that I'm not going to play yet, and then we're just going to end. So hopefully with a DCE and a Frogadier would be good. We've got Octillery, so you're saying that there's a chance. That's pretty good. Let's go in with the Octillery, and then we're also going to Field Blower my opponent's Floatstone, and actually, yeah, let's go in and get that Brooklet Hill out of there as well. And then I think I want to Ultra Ball away my own Brooklet Hill and Froakie. I don't want to actually give my opponent Brooklet Hill because I think I would rather, yeah, let's just get that. And then I'm not going to give my opponent Brooklet Hill. It just helps them set up and things like that. So if I am actually able to knock out this Rockruff this turn, then I would like them to have trouble getting out another one. So let's see. Abyssal Hand. Come on. See what we got here. There's a DCE, so that is great. And then I have a Frogadier for next turn as well. So that's really, really good. And, I mean, I could do some crazy stuff. I could scoop up Octillery. I could Abyssal again. But, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. So let's just break through, knock out the Rockruff. Good stuff. And we do 60 damage to that active Buzzwole. Now, it is a little bit of a pain here that my opponent is just going to chew through my Latios with this little mini Buzzwole again. And sure enough, here comes down another mini Buzzwole. Now, I'm not exactly excited to take prizes like this. I want to not allow my opponent to play Beast Ring. That's kind of like the ideal scenario here. So I think with my upcoming snipes, I'm going to try and snipe around my opponent and make sure that I don't go to 4 or 3 prizes. I want to skip straight to 2, which means that I'm going to have to take a 3 prize turn here somewhere. That is totally possible. Like, I can slow the game down to that pace. I'm not really worried about it, because my board has no EXs and no GXs. So I could totally take out this Buzzwole here and this Buzzwole here in the active. Yep, the Latios goes down, but I think I can do it. I think I could do it. My opponent is not looking like they have any sort of, GX Slayer out here. So without Beast Ring, there's like no way they're going to knock out a 230 hit point GX. I just don't really see it. So, I mean, let's see. They could swing around. They can swing around for 80. I mean, they can technically hit 230. I just don't think that they probably have the juice like that. I could like knock out the Diancie. Then they're like definitely not. But then I give them Beast Ring, so I'm not going to do that. All right, let's Timer Ball. First of all, we need a heads. Oh, nope. Sure enough, Timer Ball. Horrible card, please. Okay, let's go in here and start sniping some things. I know, sad face. Let's do some damage to that Buzzwole there. Then let's put a Choice Band on the active, and I think I want to try and scoop up that Frogadier again just to Abyssal Hand for more cards. I think that seems pretty good. So I don't know. Let's try that. Sure. Okay. So let's do that. Oh, I'm not going to be able to Abyssal. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not Abyssaling for any more cards that way. But it's fine. It does reset the snipe a little bit. And then, sure, let's Abyssal for 2. And see what we get there. All right, we've got the DCE, so that's one piece. And then let's just go ahead and end. Yeah, let's try to get my opponent's hand to chill out a little bit. All right, now I could have Cynthia'd. It would have got me one more card. We had faith. We knew we were going to hit that Greninja. No problem. Okay, and we also have got another Octillery, so that's really good. And then I can also bring back the Latios. That like could be pretty good. Let's see here. I think I want to snipe here, though. I don't want to... Yeah, let's do this. I want to do my GX. And then I want to hope that my opponent doesn't knock me out. That's like the idea. Yeah, we want to do 30 somewhere. So what, we're doing 130 with the snipe GX attack. 130 plus 50 is 180. Yes. So we do want to snipe this Buzzwole here. That seems pretty good. And then let's just also rescue stretcher. I think we want to throw all 3 of those back into the deck. That actually seems okay. Yeah, so let's rescue stretcher. Shuffle 3 Pokemon back into the deck. Sure, we're going to shuffle all 3 of those back in. And then, oh, big brain deck. Let's Abyssal again. 2 Octilleries, too strong. That's what I say. All right, sweet. We've got the Latios. That's kind of who we wanted, low-key. So we're going to put the Latios here. And then we should be pretty cool, like, honestly. So let's just Shadowy Hunter GX, 130 damage. And we're going to snipe the Buzzwole there. So the hope is that my opponent does not knock out my Greninja this turn. Even if my opponent does knock out the Greninja this turn, they only go to 2 prizes, and I'm still in a pretty good space to win this game because I'm going to take a 3-prize turn here, and then just am going to have 1 more prize to take. So that's not good. All right, so they've got the Choice Band. What else do they got? If they get a strong energy, then they're like really close to being able to actually knock me out. So like that's kind of scary. They just get a strong or a beast energy. So they're at 80, 110, 130, 140. They're at 140 right now. If they flip 2 heads, then they're at like 180. So they actually need like, they actually can't do it. I don't think that they can knock me out with swing around. Yeah, they're at 80, 110, 130, 140, plus 2 heads is 180. They would need... Yeah, they can't attach a beast and a strong to the Buzzwole this turn. So there's no way they're knocking that out. So I should just be like in the clear to win this game. My opponent, I'm going to be able to play around Beast Ring the whole game. They miss some max elixirs, and they're just not going to have the juice to be able to keep up with my Greninjas. And I have no GXs for them to target down. I took out their 1 Rockruff. If they're playing Igor's list, that means that was the only Rockruff they had. So that means Dangerous Rogue is not an option. In this matchup, Dangerous Rogue is easily the best route to be able to... Oh, they are going to take out something, though. They're going to go... What? Do they swing around? They get to swing around for knockout. Yup. So, not swing around. They get a Sledgehammer. 4 knockouts. They're going to take out my Froakie. That is a little bit annoying, but it's totally fine. I think that, all right, what I'm going to do here is I get to shuffle my Greninja back in. So he's going to go into the active position. I'm going to get to Haze Slash. And then I think, yeah, we've got Guzma here. We don't really need Guzma, though. I could, actually, Guzma really helps. Yeah. So let's see. I do 60 here with Guzma and then knock that out. That's actually super cool. I do like that. Let's see. So if I do, and then I could scoop up the Greninja if I hit a heads. That's actually pretty neat. Guzma really does help because then I'm going to take a 3-prize turn, which is exactly what I need to do. So let's do that. All right. I think, yeah, this is going to be the play. Okay. So let's attempt Guzma here. Sure. Or not attempt Guzma. We're going to just Guzma. Okay. We're going to bring out the Latios. The Latios is doing 60 and then 30 here. So that's almost 3 prizes. Then we just need to... And I could save the Greninja. I mean, saving the Greninja here on the bench is really good. I think I should be fine to just save it like that. I don't need to scoop up the Greninja. In fact, I think it like vastly weakens my board state. This Buzzwole like could in a crazy world like knock out my Greninja, but I think I'm going to chance it. The odds of that happening are like pretty small. So let's just go in with the Abyssal Hand number 1. See if we draw into our other Greninja. We got the Mewtwo, so that's like actually really good as well, because that way we can just bench the Mewtwo. And then I definitely don't need to super scoop that thing. So we could just do that. And then we can Ultra Ball away the N and the water energy, get my Greninja, and then we're going to knock out both of these things. So having the Mewtwo here on the bench is really great because that way if my opponent does take a crazy knockout on my Greninja GX, I can just go in with a DCE on the Mewtwo, which I'll probably be able to find with both of my Octilleries here and take the game that way. So let's Ultra Ball away probably, the N and the water energy. Let's do that. Let's get myself a Greninja here. So we're just going to do that. Yup. Snipe. My opponent's active. Great. Yep. And then let's Abyssal Hand again. I'm going to save that Super Scoop up here until after the Abyssal. Okay. And then I have Rescue Stretcher, all that. Good stuff. And make sure, I do have one DCE still left in deck. So here we go, 3 prize turn, going to completely avoid Beast Ring. A little bit scary that my opponent, could knock out my Greninja here on the bench. But I think and if I scoop it up, then I'm like even closer to winning the game, actually, because then I just have the DCE, in hand. So I actually don't think I totally mind that. But then if my opponent does knock that out, I could always scoop up from the Latios. So that's fine. I think I'm going to save the scoop ups entirely. So I have that out either way. All right. Big brain deck here. All right. Let's just break through. And we should be taking, the appropriate, 3 prizes. Very good. All right. I didn't mess that up. 1, 2, 3. We got a Sycamore. And then what else do we got there on the Buzzwole? We've got 2 more prizes. Oh, yeah. Very good. So my opponent promotes the Diancie. Diancie's got a Floatstone on it, so no surprises there. I think I do have my 1 Aqua Patch in deck still as well, so I could always whip up another Greninja if I have to, but I don't have any snipes for next turn. So if I'm going to win next turn, it's got to just be on a attack. So that's like a little bit sketchy. I've kind of like left the ball in my opponent's court on that one. Like I need to find another copy of Guzma or something like that. I've kind of made it a little bit hard on myself in that way that I don't have snipes to help me out. My opponent does go for Guzma, making me think that they are probably going to try and take out one of my Greninjas. If they do take out this Greninja with the energy, then I am left trying to scoop up the energy on those Latios to just knock out my opponent's Buzzwole. They have the beast energy. They're definitely going for Guzma on my Greninja. I'm totally fine with that. Like I said, with the Mewtwo on my bench, I have an option to knock that thing out. 2, 4, 6. So I have like a bunch, and I have my Sycamore here as well. We know that my opponent is not, they have Guzman, so they can't disrupt my hand at all. So I do have an option to dig as well. This Greninja is probably going down. What are we looking at now? We're 110, 130. It's probably a goner, right? I mean, we got him at, oh my gosh, he lived. 210. My opponent needed 2 heads still. So that is wild. Can we scoop this thing up and just end the game right here? Hi, Andrew, longtime watcher here. Yeah, you actually have 2 prizes remaining, not 1. So you got a little whiles to go here. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. That would just end the game. So I think we're just going to go for scoop up and see what we get. Come on. Give it to me. Oh, yeah. Give me that Greninja. And then here comes the Mewtwo. Actually, no, it's not game. I don't know what I'm thinking. All right. I have 2 prizes left to take. I was like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm still recovering here. Well, they scooped. So it was, see, we put them out of their misery. We do have we have game. So that is craziness. Oh my gosh. I was like way too ahead of myself. I don't know why I was thinking that I had game there. But anyways, forgive me. We went 2-0. We beat Buzzwole. That's fine. I think that, maybe my routing there was a little bit sketchy. But I think like even if my opponent does knock out that Greninja there, then they have 1 prize left to take, and they can't use Beast Ring, they can't use They also can't use their max. They were like out of max elixirs as well. So I think like I probably would have been able to buff that game out with the remaining cards that I had. It was going to be close there coming down to the wire, but definitely a close game and some crazy games with Greninja nonetheless. I love the deck. I think it's a lot of fun. You can tell I have a hard time playing it correctly and also talking at the same time because it's just a deck that requires a lot of thinking. And that's part of the fun of the deck. That's why I love to play it. So I hope you guys like watching me play that deck as much as I enjoy playing it myself. So anyways, here's the list. I'm like always tweaking this list around. I really don't know what the ideal Greninja GX deck looks like right now. This is close, I think. I do like the 2 Latios. The Mewtwo is a must-have. And you know, other cards like Timer Ball. I think Timer Ball works as a 2-of. You saw me fail a bunch of Timer Balls there, though. So, like, ugh, that's just a little bit rough. But we were still able to get our evolutions into play just fine. Octillery is absolutely fire in this deck. Just being able to hit and draw into cards. One of your biggest issues with this deck is whiffing DCE attachments and things like that. And Octillery definitely helps you to do that. I feel like the 1 Aqua Patch is fine. I mean, you could play 2, but, like, usually you're able to just kind of control the tempo of your attachments fine. So I feel like 1 just to have an extra boost when you want it is fine. But 1 Floatstone, back and forth on Floatstone, you probably don't need it in the deck. I didn't see it in any of those games, and it didn't really matter. Usually doesn't. Usually you're able to get whoever you want down on the bench, but sometimes you can't. And having to rely on Super Scoop Up as your only switch card is a little bit sketchy. So anyways, thank you all for watching the video. Going to be hitting up some more streams this week when I'm feeling a little bit better, still kind of recovering. I'm feeling a little bit lightheaded and all of that. So going to be streaming a little bit more when my endurance is back up. But for now, all I got is about like 20-30 minutes and I just get exhausted. So thank you all for watching the video so much. Again, I'm going to be doing my giveaways this week as well. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Hope you all have a great weekend and a good night. Peace.